Hello and welcome to another episode. Now, sitting here in the workshop, it's 38 degrees Celsius or 100 Fahrenheit, so I needed a fan and popped down to a local store and they had this fan down here for €2. Bought it in a shop called Dealz, which is a part of the Poundland group, and €2, I mean that is cheap. So opened it up. Opened up the back of it, and it takes C batteries, these things here, or C type LR14 MN 1400s. Now the batteries cost more than the actual unit itself, but it just so happens I have adapters here that you can put AA batteries into and get it up and working that way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit further than that. You probably have lying around the house USB cables, and either they're micro USB, mini USBs, etc. So why don't we use one of these and connect it into this, and we can have it running off a USB, whether it be a wall USB or your laptop or a power bank. The fan runs on 4 batteries, C size LR14s, MN 1400s, and it has a little switch for switching it on and off. Now 4 batteries will bring it up to 6 volts. So running it off a USB, which is 5 volts, won't put under any pressure. It may not run at 100% RPM, but these little motors in here, they can run at 1.5 volts, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now identifying which is the positive and negative is generally quite easy. The springs are generally negatives and the plates are generally positives, and being as it's at the switch, that's where your positive and negative would be. This one here is just to create the circuit, so just forget about those. Next thing we need to do is we need to pare down the USB. This one here is a mini, which not very many things nowadays that uses minis. So next step would be to cut this and pare it back. So now you have 4 colored cables. Now by experience, I've found that the red and white are the ones that you should be looking for. Now the colors may vary, but what you can do is you can pare them back a little bit, connect them to the fan or to a little bulb, and you'll be able to find out which is which. Now we'll just have a look. I have it plugged in and I have the white on the positive, red on the negative, and it's telling me it's minus, so we'll swap it around. And it's telling me it's positive 2.3. So we'll check these other ones. Okay, just hold the red one back. We found what we want. Red and black. Red is positive, black is negative. Get rid of the other two. Just push them out of the way. Put a little bit of tape around them. So unplug. Little bit of flux paste on the connectors. It's a USB soldering iron, bought online, very cheap. And just dip the two wires into the flux paste. Just put a little bit of solder on them. And now put a little bit onto the contacts. Remembering that the spring is the negative. And the plate is positive. And before we close it all up, we'll just test it. Plugged into a USB port. There we go. Now, just unplug it. What you want to do then is we want to put on the back cover. It won't fit on obviously with the cables the way they are. So again, I'm just going to, oh, came off. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, just a little bit of tape around the wires that are loose. And there seems to be a little slot there, so we'll just take a nick out of that. Feed the cable in under there and close the compartment. better. And we'll just plug it in again, switch it on, and there you have it. So we should be able to cool down a bit more. And now the USB cable was left over from something else. A little bit of solder paste, if you have it. Soldering iron, the USB soldering iron was only a couple of euro. You can buy them again in the same shop. They're selling soldering irons for a couple of pound or a couple of euro. And generally you can pick up a bit of solder pretty much anywhere. Now, if you were to use batteries in this, you'd be replacing the batteries every day. And it would cost quite a bit more. Whereas if you have a USB, and even as putting it into a power bank, you can bring it around with you. I mean, it is a bit big to be doing that, but you could even plug it into a USB port in your car, something like that. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, give us a thumbs up. You find us on the usual social media platforms, and drop a comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you. I'm just going to cool down now.